Welcome to my channel Young and the Restless Official, where you can get news about. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow, and I am your buddy. Now let's get started. The Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers tease that the ghost of Cameron Kirsten, Lyndon Ashby, is haunting Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, and this is not good. She is in a bad place following a medication adjustment and reliving horrific events from her past. Case talked to SOD about the current front-burner plot, and here's what you need to know going forward. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Sharon Case plays Sharon Newman. Case said that she's loving the dramarama her character is involved in. What I love about Sharon having bipolar disorder. It has always made her do crazy things. I get to do really fun stuff playing this character and I've loved every minute. In case you missed it, Sharon once set a fire to the Newman Ranch while struggling with her bipolar disorder. YNR spoilers, what will Sharon Case do next? The loss of Cassie Newman, Cameron Grimes, weighs heavy on Sharon's mind, and the show seems to be taking the narrative back in that direction. It isn't helping that Cameron is appearing to her and he may misdirect her where Faith Newman, Raylynn Castor, and Lucy Romalotti, Lily Brooks O'Brien, are concerned. Will Cameron suggest a frightening idea for Sharon to keep her kids Faith, Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, and Noah Newman, Rory Gibson, safe? In her current state of mind, Sharon is very susceptible to dark influences, and that spells trouble for the blonde heroine. It looks like Sharon is on a collision course with a nasty fate. Is there another fire in her future? It could be that Sharon sets ablaze with the intention of protecting Faith, and possibly doing away with Lucy. Lucy is an innocent bystander in Sharon's troubled mind, but her dad Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziadei, is not. He was part of the reason that Cassie died, and Cameron could convince her that she needs to take revenge on him. YNR spoilers, will Sharon Case escape her downward spiral? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sharon encounters danger in the coming days. Being off her meds and having Cameron tell her what to do is not a good combination. Tell us, YNR fans, do you think that Sharon might set another fire as August sweeps heats up? Be sure to catch up on everything happening with YNR right now. Come back here often for the Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. In the bustling town of Genoa City, where secrets hide behind every corner, Sharon Newman finds herself at the center of yet another whirlwind. Sharon, once the picture of grace and resilience, has faced many battles throughout her life: mental health struggles, relationship woes, and family heartbreak. Yet, despite it all, she's always managed to find her way back to some semblance of stability. But now, as old demons resurface, Sharon's grip on reality begins to slip in ways that no one could have foreseen. It all begins with a series of unsettling events. Sharon starts experiencing vivid dreams, almost like memories, where she's reliving moments from her past but with dark, twisted outcomes. The dreams are so intense that she wakes up in a cold sweat, her heart racing as she struggles to distinguish between what's real and what isn't. The boundaries between her conscious and subconscious minds are blurring, and the pressure of it all starts taking a toll on her daily life. Her closest confidants, Nick Newman and Ray Rosales, notice the change almost immediately. Sharon, usually so composed and collected, begins to show signs of anxiety and paranoia. She becomes increasingly withdrawn, often staring off into the distance as if lost in a world of her own. Ray, ever the protective husband, tries to get through to her, urging her to talk about what's troubling her. The situation escalates when Sharon begins seeing visions, fleeting images of fire, destruction, and chaos. At first, she dismisses them as mere figments of her imagination, but the visions become more frequent and more vivid, haunting her both day and night. She tries to bury them, convincing herself that it's all just stress, but the fear gnawing at her gut tells her otherwise. Something is wrong, very wrong. One night, as Sharon sits alone in the Crimson Lights coffee house, the place she's always considered her sanctuary, the visions strike again. But this time, they're accompanied by an overwhelming sense of dread. She sees flames engulfing the coffeehouse, the walls closing in around her as the heat intensifies. Sharon can almost feel the scorching heat on her skin, hear the crackling of the flames as they consume everything in their path. Panic grips her, and she bolts out of the coffeehouse, desperate to escape the nightmare that's unfolding in her mind. Outside, the cool night air does little to calm her racing heart. Sharon paces back and forth, her mind a chaotic mess. She's terrified, not just of the visions but of what they might mean. Is she losing her mind again? Is she doomed to relive the horrors of her past? The questions swirl in her head, feeding her growing sense of despair. In the days that follow, Sharon becomes increasingly erratic. She isolates herself from her loved ones, convinced that they wouldn't understand what she's going through. She avoids Ray, knowing that he'll see right through her facade, and she stops confiding in Nick, fearing that he'll judge her for her perceived weakness. But the more she tries to distance herself, the more the visions intensify, driving her to the brink of madness. Then, one fateful evening, Sharon's worst fears come to fruition. She's alone at the coffeehouse, the silence deafening as she closes up for the night. The visions return, stronger than ever, and this time, they're accompanied by a compulsion she can't resist. Sharon feels an uncontrollable urge to start a fire, to watch the flames dance and destroy everything in their path. It's as if some dark force has taken hold of her, pushing her to do something she would never have imagined herself capable of. Trembling, Sharon finds herself reaching for a box of matches. Her hands shake as she strikes one, the small flame flickering to life in the dimly lit coffeehouse. She stares at it, transfixed, the firelight reflecting in her wide, haunted eyes. Somewhere in the back of her mind, a voice screams at her to stop, to drop the match and walk away, but the compulsion is too strong. Sharon moves as if in a trance, setting the match to a pile of old newspapers stacked near the counter. The fire catches quickly, the flames licking up the papers with a hunger that mirrors the turmoil in Sharon's soul. As the fire begins to spread, Sharon stands frozen, watching the destruction unfold. The crackling of the flames is almost hypnotic, drowning out the panicked thoughts racing through her mind. It's only when the smoke starts to fill the room that reality crashes back in, and Sharon realizes the gravity of what she's done. Panicked, she grabs a fire extinguisher from behind the counter and desperately tries to put out the flames. But it's too late, the fire has already taken hold, and the coffeehouse is quickly becoming an inferno. Sharon's breath comes in ragged gasps as she struggles to contain the blaze, but her efforts are in vain. The fire is out of control, and there's nothing she can do to stop it. As the fire rages on, Sharon stumbles out of the coffeehouse, coughing and choking on the thick smoke. She collapses on the pavement.